Hello everyone, the Shadow Picture here and you're watching All Things Nintendo. Today we'll be talking about the positives and negatives of Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64, a launch game for the Nintendo 64, had its ups, has its downs. Either way, this game is objectively one of the best games of all time and for good reasons. For this video, I'll be talking about the positives and then the negatives since this game is good and I still think it is. With that said, these are the positives of Super Mario 64. This has to be one of the most important games of all time because it introduced many aspects of 3D gaming that is still being used today and shows what 3D gaming can do. This is the first game to use analog controls, in which the player can move in a 360-degree movement that allows the player to move in any way they can. The camera controls, despite being bad, is revolutionary for the time because you can control it for most of the time and is one of the earliest games to use it. This game started the collectathon for 3D games where you collect things in order to beat the game. This game inspired Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong 64, and so on. The title screen is so good because Mario says hello when you boot up the game and you can even play with his face. This game gives Mario new moves to fit with the 3D space like the ground pound, long jump, wall jump, and back jump. You can even practice the moves around Peach's castle. To go inside of levels, you jump into paintings to go into a level. Some of the levels can be accessed by jumping into portals, holes, or even walls. Speaking of levels, instead of multiple small linear levels where you have to go to the flagpole, this time there's fewer large open world levels where there's more things you can do like collecting stars to progress throughout the level. Speaking of collecting stars, there's multiple ways you can do so like beating a boss, collecting 8 red coins, collecting 100 coins, getting first in a race, collecting secrets, stuff like that. Like Super Mario Bros. 2, you can stay in the level for as long as you want without worrying about a timer that kills you if you take too long. This game introduced 3 new items. The wing cap can be found in the red boxes after hitting a red switch and tower up the wing cap. This gives Mario the ability to fly after a triple jump. The vanish cap can be found in the blue boxes after hitting a blue switch and vanish cap onto the moat. This gives Mario the ability to walk through enemies, metal gates, and certain walls. And the metal cap can be found in the green boxes after hitting a green switch and cavern of the metal cap. This gives Mario the ability to be invincible, immune to toxic, and cannot drown. The main levels are so iconic and distinctively different from one another. Bomb Bomb Battlefield is a nice starting level that has a war theme to it. It's basically the 3D version of World 1-1. Whomp's Fortress is inhabited by Whomps that are introduced in this game. Jolly Roger Bay is a nice lake level with some rocks and a pirate ship. Cool Mountain is a snowy mountain with ski lifts and a slide inside of a house. You can even race the penguin. Big Boo's Haunt is a nice spooky house level where there's booze and that scary living piano which adds to the theme. Hazy Maze Cave is an underground cave with a large cavern with Dory and a level within the level itself, if that makes sense. Lethal Lava Land is a volcanic level with Koopa shells you can ride on lava with, and a volcano that you can explore into. Shifting Sand Land is a desert themed course with sand dunes, quicksand, and a corner that tries to steal your cap. You can even go into the pyramid to explore. Dire Docks is another water level with the Big Bowser sub. Snowman's Land is another snow level with a big snowman that can blow you off and a tiny igloo you can go into. Wet Dry Road is an interesting water level where you can raise or lower the water level. There's even an Atlantis themed level underneath the main level. Tall Mountain is a mountain course that is home to the best slide in the game. Tiny Huge Island has 2 paintings where the small painting leads to the tiny island while going into the big painting leads into the huge island. You can even change between the pipes located in the level. Tick Tock Clock is located in a clock tower. Depending on when the minute hand is on the clock, the level changes on how it acts. If the minute hand is on 3, the level moves slowly. If it's on 6, the level moves randomly. If it's on 9, the level moves faster. And if it's on 12, the level stops. Rainbow Ride is the last main level, and it makes sense having this difficulty for it. Aside from the main levels, the secret levels are also good with their opposing themes. The Secret Aquarium is a nice chill level where you collect the 8 red coins. The Princess's Secret Slide is an iconic level in this game where there are 2 stars. The first one is where you just slide down the slide, and the second one is where you slide down and beat it under 21 seconds. Tower of the Wing Cap, Vanish Cap under the Moat, and Cavern of the Metal Cap are cap-based levels where you hit a switch and you can use the cap for good. Make sure you collect all 8 red coins and the star afterwards. Wing Mario Over the Rainbow is a level where you don't die, but you're sent back outside if you fall off. Bowser in the Dark World, Fire Sea, and Sky are Bowser fights. While the first 2 are beating the boss with 1 hit, you unlock another part of the castle with the key that they explode into. Beating the last boss requires 3 hits to beat the game that explodes into the Grand Star. This game has some iconic music like Inside the Castle Walls, the main theme, Snow Mountain, Metallic theme, Slider, and everyone's favorite, Dire Dire Docks. This game introduces voice acting, which is pretty good, most notably being Charles Martinet as Mario for the first time. Instead of getting hit by getting shrunk and die, the player now has a health bar that can be replenished by collecting coins or floating over water. Despite this game being glitchy, the glitches are actually fun, like the famous backward long jump, 16 stars, 1 star, and no stars. Besides Bowser, the bosses are actually fun to fight, like King Bomb Bomb, Womp King, Big Boo, Big Mr. I, Big Bully, I-Rock, Chill Bully, and Wiggler. While 70 stars are required to be in a game with 120 of them, you can skip the stars that you're annoyed with. Bowser in the Sky is a nice level to end the game with, where it's pretty challenging from start to finish, like the platforming and collecting the red coins. And in the boss fight, instead of throwing Bowser to a bomb once, you throw him at a bomb 3 times while the arena gets smaller throughout the fight. After throwing Bowser at bombs 3 times, he exploded into the Grand Star. After collecting the Grand Star, you fly back to Peach's castle, and Peach congratulates you for collecting the stars and restoring the power to the castle. The credits has to be the best part of the game. It shows that you went on an adventure throughout the game, and the music is perfect for that moment. After 100% in the game, you can access the cannon outside of the Peach's castle, and you can talk to Yoshi where he can give you 100 lives. Not gonna lie, this game feels really nostalgic. Despite this game being engraved in gaming history, nothing is perfect, and this game is not an exception. For this part of the video, we're now talking about the negatives of Super Mario 64. How are we seeing Lakitu in the intro if he's the cameraman of the game? Who's recording Lakitu? Each time you start up a save file, you always have 4 lives. The camera is so bad. I get that this is the first Mario game to use an adjustable camera, but at times I believe that Lakitu doesn't know how to operate a camera. This game runs at 30 frames per second. Even though it's not bad back then, it's noticeable now. The game didn't use the Nintendo 64 twist limits like there's some 2D sprites and no multiplayer, despite the console launching with 4 controller ports. Why do I go back to the hub world after collecting a star? There should be an option where we can stay in a level for as long as we want. I like that this game has newer power-ups, but we don't have the classics like the mushrooms, flowers, and stars. And the powers that we do have can only be used temporarily. Speaking of, the Wing Cap has some pretty bad controls. Luigi is not mentioned in the game. Slopes are obnoxious because it can either slide you down to the bottom or all the way to your death. This game has some secrets. While not bad, they can be extremely cryptic, like the 21 second star, blast away the wall, running around a wooden pole for coins, 5 itty bitty secrets. Also, some locations have some secret ways to go into, like jumping into a hole that leads into the secret aquarium, looking up at the light to go into the tower up the wing cap, and don't get me started on shifting sandland. I like a little challenge, but some stars are crazy, like pyramid puzzle, blast to the lonely mushroom, tricky triangles, stomp on the thwomp. And don't even get me started on the secret stars like Bowser in the Fire Sea, Bowser in the Sky, Wing Mario over the rainbow. My god. The snowman and the condor can take the hat off your head in a semi-realistic way, but you take more damage without it for some reason. The music is good, but it's overused to the max. The 100 coin stars are pretty annoying to collect. Kuko Mountain and Tall Mountain's 100 coin stars are terrible if your 100th coin you've collected is in their respective slides. If the star spawns on the slide and if you leave the slide, the star doesn't spawn back, so you basically have to restart the star. It's best if you start with the slide so you won't have to worry about being soft locked. Jolly Roger Bay and Dire Dire Docks each have a little over 100 coins in their levels and both have a blue coin switch. Meaning if you don't collect all of them, you're forced to restart their 100 coin stars. Just start with the blue coin switch so it won't be a pain. TikTok Clock's 100 coin star is really annoying because a lot of the coins are in boxes that explode when hitting them. Due to the path being skinny, some coins can fall if you hit a box, cause you to restart the star if this is common. And don't get me started on Rainbow Ride's 100 coin star, the hardest star in the game for negative reasons. The blue coins are basically a life or death situation because if you don't collect all of them, you are forced to collect the other coins that are really hard to get due to the level design. TikTok Clock, Rainbow Ride. After I die in Wing Mario over the rainbow, why do I end up outside of the castle instead of spawning outside of the hole I fell into? When you want to leave a level, you have to be idle, not in the air. Wall jumping is hard to do. You have to jump at the precise moment to make it happen. Catching the monkey, catching the bunny, twice. You fight Bowser 3 times. Also, Bowser teleports. You get an enhanced triple jump later in the game, but it makes sense to get it before the last 20 to 30 stars. You can't use Yoshi, and he jumps off the castle to his death. Rated E for everyone. Yeah, this game has some flaws, but it's considered to be one of the most important games in history as the introduction of 3D changed it forever, making it a milestone for gaming. Got nothing else for this video. If you want enhanced content, like and subscribe and I'll share more Nintendo content just like this. I'm the Shadow Picture and I'll see you guys very soon. Later.